Top of the morning to everybody. Wanted to give you all an overview of the camera that I use. It's a Panasonic HPX370. It's not really a little bag, as you can see compared to this chair. It's kind of big. Let's open this bad boy up here. Okay, the camera pretty much fills the entire bag. As you can see, this is the camera here. Now I have this arranged a little differently than what most people might do to their cameras. Here's the camera body, and in here I have battery. I have the battery pack, which contains another microphone and a charger, and then I have another battery down there. Now, this battery down here is actually for a second camera that I have, but in the shoot that I'm using, the shoot that I'm going to right now, I'm going to need them both. Then in this little slot here, I have two microphones. Now, if you notice, this microphone here is an ASDEN receiver, but where's the mic on this thing? Okay, this is an ASDEN receiver, but I'm using Sennheiser microphones. They operate in the same frequencies. You can tune these Sennheisers to like 5/100ths of a frequency, or kilohertz, whatever it is. So you can tune them to match these ASDENs as much as possible. And there's two ASDENs, and I've got two of these Sennheisers. I also have two ASDEN mics that I use for my other camera, which is the same camera. Then further down I have my headphones. Then down in this slot down here, I've got the plate for my tripod. This cable here, I need a shorter one, but this cable here is for connecting the second mic receiver that's in here to the back of the camera. I have a handheld mic with a transmitter in it, and then I have a mic flag. Okay? So this is what I have in the bag. I'm going to give you a little overview on the operation of this camera real quick. It's a bit bigger than most, but it's something that I enjoy. Very similar to cameras that I've used a lot in the past. Okay, let me drop this bag down. Alright. This bad boy here uses this battery pack and the mic pack and everything. And you take it and you snap it onto the side. Now usually you need two hands for this. It's kind of hard. Okay, so you snap it onto the side so it looks like that. Okay. Now, in here where that battery pack was, below my batteries here, sorry I'm a little shaky here. I'm not very good at using an iPad as a camera. Down here, I have 4 microphone antennas. So we're going to take these and put them right up here on top. Oh, that's an interesting focus. There's the other one. That one there. And there. Now, let's grab that cable that I showed you. Okay. Right here. This is where this goes. Then what I do is, because this cable's so long, I just kind of wrap it around here and let it sit on the back like that. Now down here you've got a couple of inputs. Let's put this in a little better there. Okay, you've got a couple of inputs. I tend to use input 2 for this mic. It's just out of personal preference. It doesn't really matter. You can use 1 or 2. I'm going to show you a couple other things about this though. Okay, so if I want to use this mic, I have to turn it on right here. Okay, let's go ahead and turn this camera on, and I'm going to open this little thing so you can see the video, and I'm going to take the lens cap off. Okay. So you can see our fire hydrant right there. P2 cards go down here on the side. Just plug them in there. There's an SD card for saving scene settings. I pretty much use the standard scene settings, so I don't worry about that. Okay. One of the most important things about a camera is the lens. I have my focus ring, my zoom ring. It's on down underneath here is a little switch for, you can see it right there, I think, right? This is the switch for manual and servo zoom. So right now it's on servo zoom. So if I hit this, you'll see it zoom. And if I flip that switch, it's on manual zoom. So it doesn't do anything. I have to use my fingers to do it. Okay? This is my iris. My iris currently is on manual iris. The switch for that is right up here. There's a push for auto. Let's do this. Watch. Push auto. It does it on its own. And then if I hit this, it'll open and close the iris on its own according to the light. I'm putting my hand in front of it. Okay. What else do we have over here? Got a mic in the way. Okay, this RET button right here. If I have recorded something and I hit this button, it will rewind it a little bit and let me review it. Now, this particular lens has a macro zoom, which is kind of fun to play with. I use them a lot in my shots right now, but it's kind of fun to play with that. It does not have an optical image stabilizer. That's a function within the lens, not usually within the camera. So this particular lens does not have that function. Okay, so when you're operating a camera, a lot of times you'll have 4 filters, ND filters. And you can see on this little chart right here, I have 1 is clear, 2 is 1/4 ND, 3 is 1/16, 4 is 1/64. 1 I tend to use indoors under regular incandescent tungsten lighting, whatever you want to call it. Okay, it's kind of a yellowish light. It's known as a 3200K filter. 2 is one of the 5600K filters or a 4800K filter. Kelvin is what I mean by K. This one I tend to use in shady places and sometimes in like fluorescently lit warehouses and stuff. 3 I will use outside in the shade when there's bright light elsewhere. And 4 I will use outside in the bright sunlight. Okay? Now, if you look at your viewfinder, let me put my iris on auto. If you have an auto iris on, it will tell you to change the ND filter. See that? ND3. It's saying, okay, I want it on 3. It'll probably tell me 2 in a minute. Okay? So now it can turn the iris down. You can see the f4.0. When I go here, it goes to open. That's the iris setting, and it's automatically setting the iris. And it won't tell me to change it after this because it can set it to a good level. If I go down to 1, it should tell me to switch it to ND2. Well, maybe not. Okay. So those are important. There's a lot of buttons on here. To be honest with you, I hardly use any of them. Display mode just does this. Just lets you see the different displays. It works on the viewfinder and the external window. Synchro scan is for shutters. It's to synchronize when you're getting a scan line reading from a CRT monitor, or sometimes you'll get scans from flat panel monitors. Very rarely, but you will get them. So Synchro Scan will fix that. You'll also get them from taillights from cars nowadays. Scene file. This one, I particularly like this one called Spark. Brings out the reds and the blues a little more. I particularly like it, but sometimes I change it to some of the other ones. You can put in user scene files and adjust them. Basically all they are is color adjusted settings and painting within the camera. Focus Assist will turn this little bad boy on. I don't know what that is. I guess that lets me focus on items. Usually it brings up a little chart. Monitor right here is for the audio level. When you are recording something, you'll hear it through a little speaker inside the camera. And this adjusts that speaker. It also adjusts your headphones volume. User main. Right now all it does is tell you those two things. 68% light level and a little marker in the middle. User 1 you can program yourself. Right now I have it programmed to be a backlight auto iris. User 2 I have programmed to be 24 decibel gain in video. Okay, then you got these little switches. You can turn your zebra on and off. As you can see, my zebra is not doing anything. Let's turn this up. See the zebra? I can turn it on. That goes on and off on a daily basis. It's no big deal. Gain. Medium is 6 decibels. High is 12 decibels. That's for low light levels. Okay, here's your bars. If I switch it to bars, they go on. I switch it to this. Camera, I can have an auto knee on or off. I tend to leave my knee off. I don't really care for it. And then you have your white balances, A, B, and preset. The preset will go with your filters. Actually, no. Your preset is recorded into the camera in the menu. It's not like the littler cameras that go with the filters. Okay, this is your menu button. You hit menu, and you can use that little wheel right there to scroll through the functions. If you go to your recording setup, no, you hit menu again to go back. I think it was, yeah, system setup, system mode. You can go through all your different settings of what kind of video formats you want to use. Now, I'm hitting menu to go back, and then on this wheel, if you push it in, that's how you make selections. So I'm using the AVC codec. You can use a DVC Pro codec if you want. I like the AVC. It doesn't really do much, but it seems to be really clean to me, so I like it. Okay. Over on the front down here, I want you to see white balance and black balance. And then here is my shutter settings. Let me lift this up a little bit so you can see it. You can turn your shutter on and off, and you can select. Then you got a record button down there. Most of the time my shutter is off, but every now and then if I want to make a real clean depth of field or something, I'll turn my shutter on and mess with it. Okay, over here, these are for, let me turn this menu off. These are for timecode settings. You can hold your timecode. You can change the counter of whatever you want to use. I generally leave it on timecode, and you can reset your timecode. And I think you have to, with timecode, you have to do something special. But on a counter, like a user bit counter, you can reset it. where this counter, you can reset it. Okay, actually that would be useful for my shoots. These are my input levels for my audio. These are your monitors. You can monitor channels 1 and 3, or 2 and 4, or stereo according to 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Now the way this camera works, it records 4 audio channels. And I have this front mic brought in, normally here I have it brought into channel 1. And then oftentimes, like on the shoot today, I'm going to switch this down to rear, and that'll be this mic here. Okay, and then 3 and 4 I tend to leave up on front, but I'm going to show you a little something. I have 1 audio input. I have 2 audio inputs with this mic here. I have 3 right here. And with this mic, it goes down over here. Where is it? Right there. Number 4. So I can have 4 separate wireless mics with the receivers I have for those Sennheisers. I can actually have 4 separate wireless mics on this camera, and I can route them however I want. If I were to put 2 channels on rear, it would be channel 1 and 2, so I would get rear here and rear here, 1 and 2. Then I could put this on wireless and this on front, and there's 4 mics. Sorry, it was a little out of focus. Okay, so I usually do this though. Timecode generator, do you like it free run, set, or record run? If you set it, this is where you can go reset the timecode. When I said it was something special, that's what I meant. This is good to use. You can set your timecode if you're going to do multicam stuff. It's real nice and easy to use. Plus, if this timecode counter gets up to 23 hours, when it hits 0, it's going to freak your computer out. Right? The rest of this is to do things to play the video back and everything. If you hold shift and press these ones that have orange on them, it will tell you, it will make whatever that is. This will take you to the bottom, that will take you to the top. This will give you multi-selections as a cancel. And then the white ones, these basically just move in this direction, and this is select. And here's your menu when you're inside the thumbnail view. Only when you're inside the thumbnail view. Okay, there's the headphone port. Very important to know where the headphone port is. It took me about 3 minutes to figure out where that was when I was looking for it and I needed it. Okay, another very important thing. I tend to use this viewfinder, especially when I'm doing stuff on the shoulder. Now, I'm going to zoom in here. Hopefully this works. See if we can see anything in here. Let's push this back. Let's try this. Can you see it in there? There we go. Alright, cool. There's a little switch on here. Not a switch, but a little knob that lets you focus that. Very important that you focus this. And when you focus it, you need to make sure you're looking at the numbers and not the image. You want this to be focused so that your eye is relaxed. It's not straining as you're trying to look at it. But once you have that focused, then you can use your main lens to focus everything else. Now, the way you focus objects is you zoom in on them, zoom in on the subject, focus on their eyes, zoom out, and everything else will be in focus. Okay. That was pretty cool. I've never done that with an iPad before. There's a record button here on the top. There's also a little switch over here. Where is it? Right here. It lets you turn that record button on and off. So I can turn it off and I won't be able to record there, or I can turn it on. That's if you tend to accidentally hit stuff. It's just a little thing. Let's do this. This little black thing right here, there's another one back here. These are for running cables. So if I was to run this cable to the back rear input or whatever, it would run along here on those two things and then go down the back there. Okay, let's look at the other side. Pretty self-explanatory. These are my lens controls. This is my mic input. Okay. A little something I want to show you down here. This. I don't know if I can take it off right now. But that's to, if you were to mount it with a external lens control, you would use that. Okay, so here I've got an SDI out, video out, gen lock in case I need it, timecode out, timecode in, audio out. It's just standard RCA ports. And then I've got USB. So I can connect this to my computer if need be. Back here, let's see if I can move this to where I can see it with better light. Alright, down in the back here, let's see. DC in if we need it. I don't have the adapter for that. Instead, I got this nifty little Anton Bauer charger thingy that goes here, and I can actually power the camera with that. Pretty neat. Let's turn this camera off. We don't need it on anymore. Alright, there's audio inputs there. Here's a remote control input. And I have another SDI out. This is my SDI main out. The other one's SDI 2. You can use both if you want. You can set one to be high definition, one to be standard definition. However you want. It's up to you. And then this is for FireWire. If I were to plug it into a computer using FireWire, I could actually download from the cards, but it would play it in real time. Okay, tally lights. There's a light right here on the back. You can turn it on and off. So when you hit record, this light will go on. If you turn it off, it won't. I tend to leave this one on. This one, however, another tally light right here. Come on. There we go. You can turn it off here. Sometimes I leave it on. Sometimes I turn it off. And I'll turn it off if I have somebody that gets nervous every time the camera comes on. Because every now and then, you'll get someone that does it great whenever they're doing the practices. But then as soon as the camera light goes on, they just freak out and go numb. So I'll turn that off on those situations. That way I can get things done faster. Anyway, so that's the camera that I use, and kind of a little overview on how it works. A couple of the features that it has. I didn't go through the menus this time. I'll go through the menus a little bit later. There are so many features in the menus. It's unbelievable. So, but I just wanted to give you a little overview on this particular camera, how it's set up, how it's connected, and kind of how it works. All right. I'm going to be heading out to Fletcher Jones right now, so I might even do a little bit of stuff over there while I'm shooting. All right. Thanks very much for watching.